Saturday afternoon. I'm a little behind schedule. I was just out at Levi Stadium, kind of getting. They have a Sunday night game out there, and that Weather Applied Metrics is out there. That's my company, and we do wind samplings of the stadium and forecasting winds for the turbulence and what have you. So we were just out there checking out data. So I'm a little behind. God, that NBC Sunday Night Football. It's a big deal. Like it's in terms of number one show. I think it's the number one ever rated regular show in television in terms of just the rating Sunday night because everybody's home, everybody watches football. But the trucks that, geez Louise, they had so much equipment, so many control rooms. I want to start off by saying it's already past lunchtime. So temperatures today have already reached into the 70s. Temperatures next couple of days are going to stay in the mid 70s, upper 70s. There's changes coming next week, towards the middle of next week. There's a little something goes by on Sunday. You'll see that. This Ocean Beach, I had a time out there yesterday. I was just pointing it out because I've been surfing a long time. And it was sort of ironic because I think I got hit by a sneaker wave. I didn't really, but it was a set. We call them set waves, right? But it was started off. It was an incoming tide, and then an upcoming swell. Which my general rule of thumb, if you're just learning how to surf, incoming tides and incoming tide with a building swell, Ocean Beach can be terrifying. And yesterday was funny. I was surfing. It was like 3 to 4 foot. So fun. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I don't remember what time it was, this set just shows up right, just looming over me. I'm like 100 years old. I'm like, I think I'm scared right now. Because I was right in the pit, and you're right in the pit. But I just thought, that's interesting, because you just think, just first of all, to be 67 and be scared like a child. Scared like a child. Like I went under, I was fine. But what I'm getting at is incoming tide, building swell, Ocean Beach, scary. And it doesn't look that big, I don't think. They're calling it 8 to 10 today. So those were 4 runner waves, right? So even though it was 3 to 4 foot, I guess that's what I want to say. And it was fun. A lot of people out there that were, it's an easy day. And then these sets show up. And they show up pretty, I only saw 2 sets like that the whole day. But they show up and they scare the bejesus out of you. And they also can create problems. So we got big rip currents here. If you look, right, that's a big rip current right there. That water's just flushing out. So you might be able to paddle out almost hair dry. And you can see the sandbar right here. It's a good little westerly, kind of northwesterly swell. And you can see the swell, the bumps coming in. And again, like I told you about Ocean Beach, we'll get to weather. Because it faces west, it draws some big swell. Mavericks, same kind of a thing, right? Mavericks a little better because it sits in behind the point there. And that allows it to clean up. It doesn't clean it up much. It doesn't really clean up much at all, but it actually grabs the wave pretty effectively. So this is a little bit of fog that was off the coast. This is a live camera shot as of 1:15 this afternoon. That's fog. Here's your north wind. Kind of see how it chews the fog out. And there's a little bit of north wind here pushing the fog south. Tomorrow, Sunday, we're going to see a little bit of a southerly surge. And what that is that this pressure gradient, this north-south pressure gradient, is going to relax a little, and this fog is going to get right along the coast. Southerly surge is going to creep right back up. It already did this morning a little bit. It should be back tomorrow. Laguna Beach, Santa Barbara, San Diego, right? What are you going to do? But the weather's perfect. Lake Tahoe this morning was cold. I was talking to some friends of mine. Oh, I should get this in too. Mikey Rodart's a good friend of mine. He's a big concrete guy up there. He used to run the Truckee Concrete. I should know what the company's called, but he works with Tiger now, and big deal. But he was saying that concrete has a lot to do with weather, right? How you pour wind, you pour what you do, temperature, humidity, all that. It's a science. And he was funny because I was talking to him. I go, well, he's watching the thing. And he goes, yeah, I like what you do. And he goes, but I always end up having to scrub through. Remember that thing I tell you to do to find the forecast? And I'm like, because he's a working guy. He's got 20 trucks out and a crew and this and that and this. So he goes, I appreciate that you do that. And I was happy to hear him say he does that, because if you don't want to sit through me telling you I got scared at Ocean Beach, you can just go right through, and you can do it here too, and just take that little bar and go through, and it'll say, today it'll be 3 GFS models. And we'll do a pretty strong forecast then. And then the last half is is me just being me, right? But it's important you get your weather, and so you don't have to hear any of this. You can just go right through, find the models, and then just let it play. And I'll try to do the models in a straightforward fashion. These are the current temperatures as of 119 on Saturday, and there's that beach advisory for sneaker waves. I did think it was fun. I did get hit on the head. I knew it was coming, but I was like, oh, it's kind of a sneaker wave, isn't it? 70 right now out in Concord. Sacramento, Stockton, mid-70s. Let's go a little further south. This is a great little National Weather Service currents page. You got 80 out towards Lompoc, 82 down in Long Beach, or 85 in Long Beach. Warm day in Southern California, you guys. Wow, Oceanside, 85 degrees. That's pretty hot for Oceanside. Well, let's do this. Oceanside's, let's say, but they got an 85 listed there. Let's say 85, but then I go over to over out by Phoenix, and they're 85, right? So it's a pretty interesting pattern. That's that north wind. I bet what we could do is let's do this. I'm going to go to these are temperature plots. I'm going to go to a station plot, and we'll see what the winds are doing. And the winds are pretty light, yeah. So I'm not seeing a real pronounced anything. A little bit, there's a high pressure signature there, but yeah, just warm as all get out. Here is Ocean Beach and Mount Tamalpais, as seen from Mount Tamalpais. Put a little loop on it. There's the fog. You might see a little fog off Montero Point. Haze, that's a sea haze or a salt haze. We talked about this a long time ago. When it gets warm like this, sea surface temperature, water's warm, by the way. Yesterday I was out, and there was two guys, one guy in a spring suit, and another guy full on trunking it. I go, dude, how long you got in you? And he goes, I can go a couple hours like this. And I was out yesterday too. It was pretty warm. It was pretty warm. The water, I don't know, I should check the temperature, but it was pretty warm. But when the water gets warm like that, you get a lot of more evaporation, especially when the air gets warm or dry like it is now. It evaporates into the air, but it leaves the salt particulate, right? The moisture becomes, right, vaporizes. But the salt is the salt. It doesn't vaporize. It just hangs and creates sort of something for for any moisture, anything around to coalesce on and become sort of not a raindrop, but just a haze. And that's what I've always called that. And I know I had cloud physics at San Francisco by Kathy Felton, who was awesome. And I think she's not with us anymore. She was awesome, though. But we did a lot of cloud physics stuff and talked a lot about salt haze and stuff. It's interesting. A whole class I think it was atmospheric chemistry. I can't remember what we called it. Anyway, so these are the highs from today. Highs tomorrow will be about the same. This is the model, the part where you scrub through. A little more casual today because I've kind of already had coffee. And it's Saturday. And the Dodgers are in the World Series. I know I love you guys in LA. I'm sorry. It's weird because I'm a Giants guy. I can't lean in. Although, boy, that guy knocking out 3 home runs in 6 innings. Oh my God, right? So he's the real deal for sure. Anyway, okay, scrub through. Let's do it. Here is the GFS. Here we are now under that ridge of high pressure, right? So there's a ridge. This is our old low, by the way. It brought the snow to the mountains. It's moving up into the Great Lakes. This looks enticing, but it's not. Watch what happens. That's tonight, that's tomorrow morning, and then tomorrow night. So tomorrow we're going to see a little switch to the south winds. See how it just brushes by to the north. That's all you need to know. The main energy. Now this guy, right? That's interesting. Cutoff low. Everybody hates those. Everybody hates those. That thing gets sucked in at the road. If that gets sucked into that's thunderstorms and forecasts that are going to be hard to make. The thing keeps spinning past Sunday into Monday, and you go, okay, it's going to get picked up by this next one. And it kind of gets pulled in. Watch, see, it gets sucked in, gets a loop around it. And then here comes an event on Wednesday and Thursday where the ridge gets knocked down and then opens the door. So that's what little troughs do. Like this little trough that goes through the one up here, it knocks the ridge down a little bit, right? It breaks it down. And so it sort of flattens it out. And then you look back here, that's sort of a zonal flow, which means just, we call it meridional flow, where it's coming from west to east. There's some tropical moisture. There's yesterday they were suggesting some kind of AR event. There could be. It's just a storm. We'll try not to do the AR thing to you, only because it's just the same weather we've always had, but somebody just decided that's a cool, buzz phrase. It's, Tropical Express, Pineapple Connection. What else do we call? I can't remember what we call them. But anyway, so this is that flattens out, and this, by flattening out that ridge, by the time we get to, remember that Saturday, Sunday, the 25th, 6th, right, there it is. So that's going to be interesting. It doesn't last as long as it originally had been said. Now, where did that low go? Let's back up. There's the low. So it gets sucked in, but gets spit out in front of it with that first little low. Severe weather possible as it goes through New Mexico, though. You see it? And then this flattens out, and then this is around the 25th, 26th, 27th, and then it ridges up again, on the 26th. Well, yeah, late on the 26th. And then something like that. Okay, so what have we just said? It's going to be nice weather the next few days. We're going to see this weather system kind of comes through tomorrow night and just kind of changes the wind direction, but it's a little fog at the coast. But it's more mid-70s, low 70s in the Central Valley. LA, you stay the same. We all stay the same. And then as we get towards Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of this upcoming week, things will get kind of goofy, especially as we get into, we'll see here, as we get into the latter part of it. So here is tonight. This is 10 o'clock. This is what time? 18Z. So 18Z is 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. Okay, so you see the thickness lines. You see the isobars are stacked. Because thickness lines, these are just temperatures, right? Those guys. They're temperatures. They're not actual. They represent temperature because they're thicknesses of the atmosphere. Warmer atmosphere is thicker. So see this down further towards the equator is at 5670. That's decameters. Or meters, pardon me. And this is at 5610. That's less. It's less high. That level is a lower. It's all like 500 millibar level, but it's lower as you go further north. So it's colder air. That's an illustration. And when you see these lines, they are confusing, but as these lines start to advect in, because that wind is going to start pushing like this, and it's going to take this line and push it into that line and push it into that line. That's why we watch thickness lines. And there's a lot of people use them for snow elevations, 540 line, things like that. It's not always the best way to go. Here is a north wind that develops on Monday morning, Sunday night into Monday morning. That's a north wind there, right? So that's interesting. Not concerned about fire, but somebody will mention it, I'm sure. I'm just looking at the isobars being kinked. So here is the wind at the surface on a high pressure blows clockwise and out, and so it goes like this. I'm sorry, yeah, clockwise and out. So here, these winds blow across here. I'm doing a horrible job right now. I'm sorry. I thought I could illustrate that better, but I didn't. Okay, so let's get to what we really want to see. This is 24th. So yeah, 24th. Here it comes. This is the 25th. At 11 p.m. Okay, so Saturday at 11 p.m. or Friday at 11 p.m. and then Saturday morning next weekend. That's pretty juicy. It's extratropical. Thickness lines. See how they're all the dash lines are they're stacking up. That just shows you the front. There's a cold front that went through. And we could analyze that cold front, right? Cold, the term, that's to be the cold front right here. See, and all the air behind it is colder. Air in front of it's warmer. Cold fronts and warm fronts got their name from military, right? It used to be they used to call fronts battle fronts, and they would mark them on a map. And so that's where the term cold fronts come from, fronts. And so they're at the surface, and this is a cold front. This is the storm clearing out on Sunday morning. Okay? And then some stuff behind it. So really, right now, the headline for us is pretty awesome week. The winds shift a little tomorrow. It's going to be nice. And then somewhere around, let's call it Friday afternoon, things start to get a little sketch. And you'll start hearing stuff about winter storm warnings in the mountains next Friday. It's ways off. I know. I probably did too deep a dive. Oh, I want to listen. This is precipitable water. And then what you got here is, let me move this out of the way. You can't see it, but I can. This is precipitable water. Now, that's an atmospheric river, right? And this is now. And but see, this is tonight Remember that thing that front goes through? It kind of redirects the AR or the moisture field. So not that wet. So nothing. We're going for it. I'm just watching the purples and blues, and that's your fuel for these storms. So what we're really looking for is it going to phase in on the 25th, and we're on the 22nd now. When I say phase in, you can kind of see the low right here, right? Even though it's just showing precipitable water. So that's an AR2. Yeah, that's a nice one. That's Friday mid-morning, but it's still offshore. And then that's a Marin County thing. That's Friday night, Saturday morning. That's Marin County. That's some rain. On Saturday morning, Marin County. Well, and not to mention, I mean, just looking where the blue is. You go north up to Point Arena, Cape Mendocino, you've got rain. But down in this blue area, if that were to go down, you would be looking at over an inch of rain in Marin County for sure. And then it kind of moves through the Sunday. This is Saturday, the next Saturday afternoon. So, and there's another one kind of right there. That's on November 1st. So we kind of get into a little series of these potential. You'll hear AR all over the place because people don't really know what they are. And it's just the atmosphere. It's just a storm like we always get because there's always some tropical moisture. Our storms always dip into them. Just sometimes there's more moisture than other times. In this case, it looks like there's some moisture available. Okay, so the forecast is on track. I hope I didn't do a disservice there. I was trying to. Sometimes I kind of want you to know it better than I know it. Which is sad, but there's so many opportunities to make for the light bulb to go on that I just keep pounding it because that's how I used to learn too. I just wait and the light bulb will go, oh, that's what that is, right? And you could kind of see it in your mind's eye. So here's that low right here, the parent low. And, some more storms out in Oklahoma, but not much. This is a national map. These are frost advisories, freeze warnings. These are wind advisories up around Montana, the Alberta Clipper type system. And then along the coast, the sneaker wave stuff goes away, but I will say that the waves are going to be big. I mean, it's good size today, and it's going to stay big. Ocean Beach is going to be good size for the next week. These are the earthquakes in the last 24 hours. And these are all the ones above 5, but it's pretty busy today, really, right? Because we do the same look every day, right? So there's some more. The bright reds means earthquake within the last 24 hours, and then this is. I'm going to change this because I want to make it oceans. I like the satellite, and I like the oceans. There it is. I don't like that. I like the satellite. Okay, and then this is the ring of fire. And I got myself all jacked up here, don't I? Oh, dang it. Make that go away. That's better. Okay, and then the ring of fire is right here. And these are earthquakes 2.5 or above in the last 24 hours. Red means it just happened within the hour. And that is it's 4.9 kilometers deep, and that's a 2.7 in Borrego Springs. Another earthquake here. Alum Rock. This is a 2.8, which is real close to that Berkeley earthquake we saw the other day. No, it really isn't. Alum Rock, San Jose, pardon me. So kind of quiet. I can do all of them. These are all magnitudes, microquakes and all, and just pretty typical day. And again, in an effort to realize, oh, hey, the Earth's moving, the planet's alive, and we're getting earthquakes every day. And those are little earthquakes. Will add up to a big earthquake for sure. I'm not a predicty guy. This is up by Kelly's Cove. Sandbars have been a little funky. You see how it's just kind of walled up on the inside. Plus, the swell's bigger down towards the middle of the beach. If you go down to the middle of the beach, see how it's just coming in more unfettered. You got an offshore wind as well. Great highway. Still closed. I don't even enter that discussion because if you live in the area, it's a real point of contention with locals. Good and bad, for and against. But beautiful day out there at the beach. This is Zuma Beach and just north of Point Dume. And just a beautiful day in the 70s. It's a warm day. That's one of the things I picked up on, right? So what do we got? San Diego today is going to go 68 degrees. Los Angeles, 81 degrees. And then what do we got here? Mount Shasta. Some nice snow. They're going to get more snow, as you would guess, on this next system maybe even Sunday night, they might see a little bit of snow, just a little click, maybe a few inches, break, and then bam, the Friday, Saturday thing looks like it'll be productive for them. And then Venice Beach, I just love like this guy's a character, right? I tell you, I don't have tattoos, but if I had tattoos, here's what I'd do. I'd get sick tan, and I would just go after the push-ups. I just would. I probably wouldn't have any friends or a wife or a dog, but I would, because if you're going to play the tattoo game, you kind of got to play it, right? So it's a kind of a commitment to physical fitness because you can, and you've seen it done, but it's not as awesome. It's awesome is when somebody's ripped up, especially the old guys. It's pretty cool. I go back to a time when, and again, we did weather. Remember, you can scrub the other way too if you want. I grew up in a time, I was raised by World War II veterans, right? And so those guys, especially the naval guys, all had tattoos. And they were skanky ratchet tattoos because they were poorly done in some boiler room on some ship. But it was sort of like, and they tried to, I think back then they were trying to color them. But the classic was the anchor, kind of the Popeye thing, right? The anchor and the chain. Folks all watching something, must be a street performer, but a beautiful day. Southern California, this weather continues for you guys next couple of days. I'm going to be around and not around. So I'm going to, we know we're in a holding pattern until we get to kind of Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's when things right now, look, the timing. If it changes a lot, I'll pop in here somewhere. I do have Starlink on my van now. I just don't like to work when I'm playing. I'm going down on the Central Coast, and I'm going to try to jump in at Big Sur and get some waves going with a bunch of friends. I'll send pictures. How about that? But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Have a great day. Thanks for bearing with me. Love all the comments, suggestions. Tell a friend. And again, remember, you don't have to live through this. You can just scrub. And that allows me to do me, which I like. But it allows you to go, oh, there's some freaking solid information here. All right, talk to you. I don't know. The tattoo thing's solid information. See you back here.